Well, now we're into our final mini lecture for media law. I really do hope you've enjoyed the course, but very much more, I hope you've learned something from it. This is just a short mini lecture just to recap and review just some of the important principles as you go into your final study period. But I think the most important thing is that you do this review rather than me talk again about each of the topic areas. We've been on quite a journey. We've learned about the importance of free expression at an international level. We've learned about mindful practice, about how journalists and other media practitioners need to be able to reflect in action upon this knowledge that they've gained in the course when they're actually in the workplace. For some of you, you've had your first introduction to the court system, but hopefully those of you who did know about it have learned a bit more about that now. We have visited the area of open justice, and we've learned that free expression as a right needs to be balanced against other rights and interests, including someone's right to a fair trial, which is important to the area of open justice, contempt of court, and some of those publishing restrictions that occur in that area. We've ventured into the balancing of free expression against people's right to a good reputation in society, and why it's so important that the media does defame people sometimes, but they do so within the bounds of a defence that is available to them. We've learned about secrets and confidentiality, about national security, anti-terrorism laws, hate laws. We've learned about privacy and its regulation, intellectual property, and each of these is a balance of free expression against some other right or interest, which may constitute a crime in some circumstances, but in most of our studies, it's actually constituted a legal action, a wrong that someone is able to redress through the courts, normally by suing for an award of damages or by seeking the courts to issue an injunction to stop a media outlet publishing something that might damage their interests. And finally, we've worked our way through some business law, the law of public relations, freelancing in journalism, and new media entrepreneurship. Because we've found that in this globalised world, media law merges much more with business laws as people try to find a business model, a revenue stream that gives them a livelihood and a career in media, but also serves the public interest in some important way. Your way of reviewing all of this is, of course, through the study plan, which anyone who's ventured through to this far into the course and the mini lectures would be well aware of the study plan, starting with the mini lecture and working its way, applying that to the learning problems through the other activities, which go much more deeply into the actual cases, examples, and elements of each of the actions, the legal actions that we've been discovering. And I do appreciate those who've been using social media to tweet to the MLGriff hashtag throughout the course. Now that you're finishing the course, I do hope you keep a watch over that and occasionally send us some snippets of new examples that are occurring in media law that you can share with the next batch of students. Your final tasks are detailed there in the assessment grid that's there on the course website. Of course, one of your biggest final items is your final exam, so I encourage you to go there and look at the criteria, how you will be graded on the final exam, and ensure that you are across the topic areas that we've talked about being covered there for your final quiz and exam as they unfold. Remember also for those final tasks to be checking your timelines and basically all of the essential criteria attached to those final examples. So it's time for a farewell. On behalf of the other tutors and those who've been involved with the Media Law course, to all of those who've offered technical assistance in so many ways to the Media Law course, including the recording, editing and production of these mini lectures, I say a big thank you. I may not have converted you all into media law geeks as the tutors and myself have become, but nevertheless I hope it's at least been interesting enough for you to learn enough about media law to go along the ride of the learning process that we've developed for you, and so that you can enter your career in journalism, public relations, law, or new media entrepreneurship with just some sense of confidence that you can weigh the relevant risks that are out there in media law and its related fields, and know when to seek advice from a lawyer, and know when perhaps there is already enough guidance that you might minimise the risk but press on without that legal advice because you feel that you are in quite comfortable terrain with many precedents already supporting your course of action. So good luck with those careers. Thanks again for your attention and understanding through the course, and thanks to those who've helped. Goodbye for now.